this was a Tuesday/Wednesday and a half war, right? Because NXT was on its regular network on Tuesday night this week, and then replayed opposite AEW on the Sci-Fi Network. Whereas AEW, which if there was ever a network for this show, it would be the Sci-Fi or the Cartoon Network. But AEW was on TNT on Wednesday night over there against the rerun of NXT on USA.
Correct.
So they kind of had a Wednesday night war, but let's say Sci-Fi is not the as well thought of a network as TNT is, so it wasn't really a head-to-head thing, and plus it was a rerun of the previous night's show. So they were kind of head-to-head, but not. But if there was ever a week for NXT to gain some viewers and to be unopposed, it was this week because they hit a home fucking run. And if there was ever a week that AEW should have hoped for the smallest possible audience, it would be this program. This was night and fucking day. And we're not even going to give NXT the backhand compliment this week that, well, at least it's all professional, but nothing really went on, because they had a lot of shit going on, and a lot of it was good. And AEW, can they see the shark in their rearview mirror yet? Do they realize that this is just the worse shit over and over that they're doing now, the same shit they've been doing?
Absolutely not. They think it's the greatest shit ever.
All righty. Well, you can't polish a turd, folks. AEW on September 9th. We're going to do this one first so we can end on a more positive note this week. Started out in the parking lot with Tony Schiavone and MJF and Chris Jericho show up in matching SUVs. And it would have been so fucking funny if when they pulled up head to head like that behind Tony, if they'd have miscalculated another foot and run into each other, that would have been fucking hilarious. But anyway, Jericho and MJF put each other over in the smarmy heel way. So I guess they've probably been watching that interview with me and fucking Eddie Haskell from The Clash. And that was fine. And you can tell that obviously it's the deal where, yes, they're putting each other over, but because they're pricks, they don't mean it. And they would soon stab each other in the back as look at each other. But they had to make sure to end it with cuteness instead of believability, because there's one camera. Did you notice this, Brian? There's one camera on this whole interview. Tony Schiavone in the middle of MJF and Jericho, and they're talking. One camera. But then suddenly when they both finish their statement to each other and walk off in different directions, suddenly they're not only being followed by two different handhelds, but it's a split screen instantly so that they can do their cute line that has been written where they both at the same time call each other a loser under their breath so the other can't hear, which was great stuff, except it didn't work because it was obvious that you set this whole goddamn thing up to do that fucking line. Is that the way you saw that?
Yeah, I thought it was all right at the beginning with Schiavone in the middle of them, and they're doing their shtick. But I don't like cuteness, like you put it. I don't like that kind of stuff in professional wrestling. So when all of a sudden there's a camera on each guy as they pull away, that's where it gets too shticky for me, and that's where someone needs to put their foot down and say, this is too silly, and it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary.
They could do that in other ways. They could have some guy, the first guy that walks off, the other guy can fucking say, what a loser, and then walk off. And the other guy can come back and say, did he say something? And Tony said, I didn't hear anything. Well, what a loser he is. They got to be cute. All right.
And by the way, since we're talking about Jericho here, on the Drive-Thru where we reviewed the all-out pay-per-view extravaganza, I had a little
Don't remind me.
You and I had a little bit of a back and forth because I thought that you're giving Chris Jericho too much leeway, that this is him and these are his ideas, and you really seem to have a problem accepting that Chris Jericho's behind a lot of this stupidity. After that show came out, Chris Jericho put up, I saw it, maybe it was on Twitter or Instagram, I'm not sure where, the diagram he drew for how he envisioned the Mimosa Mayhem match to take place. So it was indeed a Chris Jericho idea.
I do stand suitably chastened. I was figured he knows better, but he doesn't give a shit. This was my take on it. He knows better, but he doesn't give a shit because he's taking the money. And he knows that Pockets, that Tony Khan has adopted Pockets as a little mascot. He thinks he's cute. And he knows that he likes some of these fucking people and some of this goofy stuff. So he's doing it just to take the guy's money because he doesn't give a shit. And he saw that, any hope of this being a serious enterprise was lost. So he started out Jericho as the serious heel champion, serious in a wrestling way, serious heel champion of a serious wrestling company. And when he saw that was not, he just said, fuck it. I'm going to do what the guy paying me likes. I guess he's thinking of some of this shit, which makes me even more worried. Possibly early onset CTE. I don't know. He's lost everything he's ever learned about the wrestling business.
Everything you want to say about Vince would hear these ideas from Jericho and say, I don't think we can do that, pal. And Chris is like, if it was only a place I could go and truly express myself with my crappy ideas.
All right, it hurts my feelings to say that, but you may have indeed hit the nail firmly on its pinhead. Anyway,